Hello, everyone, and welcome to Solanews' event, Metaverse Me. I have a great lineup today of Metaverse Me NFT project entrepreneurs here with me today, and we're going to be doing a panel to ask them some Q&As to learn more about their projects in the next stage of Metaverse-ready NFT projects. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce these guests and also get to know them a little bit better by asking them each to further introduce themselves and explain a little bit more about what's going on in their specific projects. So my first question to our panel is, first of all, thank you so much for being here with us today. And I'd like you guys to each go ahead and introduce yourselves and your projects to our audience. No, you know what? Actually, let's do this. So, can we do Hatsunama from Vishvi first?
Hi, my name's Craig. I'm with Blockstars, and I have a background in community with games that goes back way back into the 2000s with online games specifically. So Sony Online, Zynga, and things like that. The team I'm on is we're all doxxed, and that's why it's like hello. Um, has credentials going back into the late 90s on all kinds of different games. And where we all converged was at Zynga. Blockstars itself, just to be real quick and easy, is a music management simulation game where it's not about being a musician or playing an instrument rock band style. It's about actually being a manager and can you build a great band and bring them to success, perhaps get a studio going or a label going, or run venues for people to play with their bands. And so we just released last week on February 5th. We have 10,000 tokens out there in the world, and really happy to be here tonight.
Next, if you can just introduce yourself and your project.
I think, can you hear me? Yeah, good.
We can. Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, perfect. I'm the owner of NFT Pizzeria, and this project was born for me and my team. We were discussing about the vendors, and after the several research, that there is metaverse is pretty early, and we are not really sure
Able to pick up some. I know that you're coming all the way from Italy. It's also a big time difference. So I'm not sure what kind of systems you're working from, but it is a little bit hard to hear you. But as you guys know, I'll do a little bit of my best interpretation. We have talked about his project before on Solanews. It's the NFT pizzeria. He's trying to be one of the first people to make pizza virtual. I don't know if you guys heard him correctly, but he is talking about comparing himself to Domino's or other pizza shops like Pizza Hut. But he wants to merge the world of NFTs and pizza. So hopefully, when we get into our questions, you can fix something so we can hear you a little bit better. If there's something you can work on, if not, I'll do my best to try to hear you out. But thank you for sharing. Yes, Filippo, I'm sorry. It's still a little bit difficult, the cutting out when you're speaking, but I'll do my best. If you want to type it in the chat, also, I can try my best to kind of speak on your behalf. Or if you start to sound better, I'll let you know, just because it is a little bit difficult to hear for some reason. I'm not sure what that is. All right. Okay. So moving forward, our next person that I'd like to hear from is if I can hear from our representative, Sly from Soul Dogs. Are you here in the building? No? All right. What about Craig? Did you already share? So we've got Vishvi, we've got Filippo, and then what about Hatsunama? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm here.
From Vishvi? Perfect. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm here with Vishvi, or Vishva. It's Sanskrit for universe or world. We're an open world metaverse and a win to earn esports game. So it's going to be more than just your basic play to earn, casually earn money. We're trying to reward people that are better at the game than others, creating actual esports and involving other people, like being able to watch and being able to bet and different things like that.
Guys, for keeping things brief. I was going to remind you guys to try to give answers in the most detailed way possible, but in the shortest amount of time. And I think you guys did a very great job starting out. So thank you so much for your introductions. You guys did much better than I'd be able to introduce you myself. So moving forward, since it looks like we've got the three of you guys here, we did also plan to have the mayor from neighborhood and Soul Dogs, but it looks like they're either not showing up or they're running a little bit late. So let's alter this. Since it's only three people, it should be a little bit easier to share the stage, but still, like I said, try to be detailed, but also brief. So moving forward, let's go on to our next question. So this is also for everybody. If you want to stay in that same order, I think that could work well. Or if you guys know how to kind of jump in over each other or go on a point that you think is important, you can also feel free to do that as long as nobody's stepping on anybody's toes. So my next question is, how would you describe your metaverse plans for the project at this point? So we're talking today. How would you explain your specific project's plans for the metaverse or the meta world in terms of how you're going to go about your project?
We're planning on enabling our holders, the people who own the tokens, to be in metaverses, but we're not building one straight out of the gates or even on our roadmap. That's not a near term thing we're considering. We built the utility into the tokens where everyone who holds a block star has what's called a FBX file, which is a 3D file. And if you look at block stars, you'll see people in the community are making all kinds of videos and YouTube stuff on their own, which is really cool to see. And the reason we did it is we acknowledge like it's a lot to make a game that works. It's a lot of work to make a metaverse, period. Like, I've worked on massive multiplayer games. These are not easy things. They're not trivial tasks. So we took the path of let's make our game and make our tokens, our avatars usable in other people's metaverses, provided they accept that 3D format, the FBX. And from there, the sky's the limit. Any place that takes that kind of 3D file, a Blockstar can go. And so we're thinking more metaverse adjacent right now and going, what are we going to do that's really going to work well? And there's a lot of people out there that are going to make metaverses that are going to really work well. Can we enable our token holders, our customers, to be in both places at the same time?
Awesome. That's so exciting. Thank you so much for sharing. And it looks like Cy from Soul Dogs is here, and he's also a fan in the chat. So you're getting some hyped up on your Blockstars project. So thank you so much for sharing your metaverse plans. Sly, we're going to go down the line. I'm going to actually have you go last. So I'll have Filippo and then Hatsunama explain. We're talking about where your project is in terms of the metaverse. And then also, since you showed up a little bit late, I'm going to have you explain your project too. So once we get to you, be prepared to explain your project and then also its metaverse readiness. But for right now, let's hear from Filippo and then let's hear from Hatsunama on their projects.
Okay, let me know if you hear me well, because I'm moving in another room, so maybe it's kind of better now. Our metaverse plan is kind of different compared with like the other project, because we want like to collab with the project. We want to build our pizza restaurant in a different metaverse project. We want to spend in all the projects. We want to collab with everyone. And after building the pizzeria and working the projects, what we want to do is like create like an actual pizzeria. Like people can come, can join like our pizza restaurant, and then after that they pay for the pizzeria, and we want to share like the profit of the pizza restaurant with our orders. Basically, this is what we want to do, and this is what we're going to do.
Still not great. I know it hurts me too to say this because I really excited.
Don't know, like, it's really weird because I changed, like, I'm like as close as possible to the router, and it's really sad that you cannot hear me.
I'm sure the sound will be better in Web 3 than Web 2, so we'll get there. But from what I'm understanding is that you want to be different than other metaverse projects. You also are thinking about collaborating. Is that correct? Got it. So just instead of just one single metaverse, you want to collaborate with other restaurants. You want to make your metaverse stand out, and then you also want to look to do collaborations. That's very exciting. Partnerships with other people's metaverse, so that your holders of this can get a more broad experience than just being in one project. Am I understanding you correctly? Does that sound similar to what you were saying? Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna take that as a yes for right now. Okay, moving forward, we've got Hatsunama from Vishvi. If you want to explain us a little bit more your metaverse readiness.
Yeah, so we've built an entire metaverse area for you to hang out. We think the idea of the metaverse being one place is just ridiculous. That's like saying Google is the internet. So, one, we're collaborating with as many other metaverse projects as possible so that if you hold the proper NFTs, it should be really easy for you to move from one to the next. And where we have about 20 avatar partner projects that we're working with right now that you can use and play with. We have an art gallery that you can explore. We plan to do a lot of big things with that. You can fight the space pirates. That's going to be our win to earn mechanic. I think that's about the end of the question. I don't want to keep going too far into it.
Working hard. Sounds awesome.
I
So
could talk about it forever.
pirates fighting. You have a whole what is it called in sports? Like your rival team. So now you have your rivals already set up for play to earn. That sounds so awesome. So it sounds like you're saying we're already there. So great.
Yeah, there's a playable game right now. We had a demo since we've released the Discord, and it's still free to play right now. You don't have to hold any NFTs or anything.
Awesome. I know I checked it out. I actually had a lot of fun. So thank you so much. All right, perfect. And then let's move on to Sly. Thanks for joining us. Welcome. I'm going to have you start with introducing yourself just because everyone else kind of got the chance to do that already. So explain to us a little bit more about you, your project. We're trying our best to keep things brief, but also very informative. And then you can go on to explain to us exactly what your project's plans are for the metaverse, or where your project is in terms of the metaverse right now.
Sure. Thanks for having me on here. Are you guys able to hear me? Let me know in the chat. I'll make sure we're all good. Yeah. So yeah, first big thanks to you for bringing us on. The Soul Dogs crew is really excited to be here, and shout out to Craig from Blockstars. We're big fans of Blockstars, and Hatsunama. We've been chatting in DMs for for a while, working on different things. So it's great to finally catch up with you. Yeah, so I mean, myself, I'm Sly. I lead community and marketing for Soul Dogs. We launched in January with our first collection, super high quality 3D profile pic NFTs. Soul Dogs is inspired by retro culture. Our whole team is big fans. You know, we're a bit old school, so we're big fans of retro culture, music, art, cinema, fashion. And we wanted that to inspire our really high quality 3D collection. And so, in terms of where we're at in our roadmap, you know, we've grown pretty tremendously over the past 3 months or 2.5 months leading up to our mint. We've been live for about a month post mint, and the project has been doing so fantastic so far. And the project's been doing really fantastic so far. We got 30K plus in our Discord, 22K plus on Twitter, 37 plus holders. And that's just the first phase, our Soul Dogs collection. The next phase is actually heading into what we're calling our proof of concept metaverse. We launched a demo, an alpha demo. If you check out alpha.souldogs.city, you can check out what we're building. And the next phase really sees us introduce our Genesis collection of metaverse land in the form of super high quality 3D dog houses. We just dropped, I think it's probably in our Twitter, you have to look a bit, but we just dropped our first sneak peek of our new house designs. And man, our designers are just monsters. You're killing it. Like I'm like #1 fan of our own designers. The first drop is a first look at our cottage style house, and if you check that out, I mean the art quality is parallel to none other. So that's what's coming next is our collection of metaverse land. It's going to be a collection of that our community will be able to mint. It will be a whitelisted collection, so we'll be minting directly with our community. So you'll have to own a Soul Dog to have a chance to mint one of the dog houses. And then the phase 2 really sees us launch a lot of new things. So it's the Soul Dogs Doghouse collection, but we're also introducing our metaverse experience, right? And what we're calling a proof of concept. And feel free to jump in, stop me, ask questions. I tend to be verbose at times, so let me know if you want me to chill. But the next phase here, we're actually going to launch multiple things. So we're launching our token, which comes out probably within the next 10 days or 2 weeks. So date to be confirmed. But we're going to be launching on Radium. We're working with Radium as our partner. They've been fantastic so far. And we're going to be launching our token called Bones, and that's going to sort of be the underpinning our native currency for our whole ecosystem in our metaverse. And in hand with the launch of our token, we'll be launching a native marketplace as well as staking to earn the token via our job board. So cool part about Soul Dog City, we've gamified the staking experience. So in Soul Dog City, if you own a Soul Dog, you can put your dog to work, and there'll be different jobs. So your dog could have an entry-level job and earn bones working on an entry-level job, but then there'd be higher paying jobs, just like real life, that are more difficult, take more time to complete, but you'll earn more bones. And so we have jobs like detective, astronaut, and each of those jobs might have a lock-in period of say 7 days or 14 days, depending on how difficult they are, but they'll be rewarded more handsomely in bones tokens. And so that will go out with our token. We'll launch our staking, our native marketplace, which will be denominated in bones. And you can buy, sell, trade soul dogs, dog houses, as well as consumable items for your soul dogs and dog houses as well. So really, in the end, what we're trying to build is a proof of concept metaverse. We've been talking to a lot of projects here. We have friends in this backstage and our speakers, so it's great to see. And what we're building is this proof of concept, the foundation of what we can build on. And I think once we get past this next phase, we're really going to almost complete our roadmap and launch our DAO, and then let the community decide how best to build the metaverse moving forward. Yeah, that might be the case. Vimeo streaming is just not going to make it. It's like, yeah, something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
I feel bad. How are you guys doing?
Here we go.
There we go. Go ahead and answer since you're on the screen now.
I'm not
Did
sure
you hear
what
a
the
question?
No. What was the question?
Yeah,
I can answer.
Oh, it was a long question. She was asking about talking about how you sold out, you minted
Yeah.
fully, and it sold out quickly. Here I can look up her questions actually.
Oh, that sounds like me, right?
Yeah, you.
Black stars. Yeah, because I was watching. She's so emphatic and excited. I'm like, well, this is a good question.
For sure.
So yeah, so we did sell through. We sold 5,000 tokens in the last week. We airdropped 5,000 more as kind of a buy one get one to our community. And
Biggest obstacles to success.
biggest obstacles to success. I think for all of us, almost, I'd love to hear what others think, but like it's focus. It's making sure you know what you're delivering for that community that you've acquired. That's such a terrible word, but like, brought in and brought together. And it's like, okay, now we need to make this thing that we told you we're going to make. And, we're barely a week post mint, and the idea factory is just every day. Someone's like, what if you this, what if you that, what if you this, like knowing that this is what you need to make this work. Like you said, you've got an existing thing where you can go in and do the esports and the competitive, like not getting distracted by cool, shiny things is always the biggest challenge. Cause these are games. This is fun. These
Future
are
proof.
places that people get to relax and enjoy themselves. And someone's like, what if you did this? And you're like, okay, that's a really good idea. Now, how do we figure out where it goes in the roadmap? And like
Exactly.
for us, that's, in many ways, part of the reason we're not making a metaverse play. We're not making like a metaverse where you go and play block stars and different clubs and work your way up to arenas, and there's spaces that people can have. We need to make a game. We're making a music management sim. It needs to be really, really good at that before we think about making our own virtual spaces. And just through I think it's kind of elegant design idea of like, we'll make the avatars in full 3D. Like we don't have a profile picture. You have a 3D model that you can use as a profile picture, but you can export it and take it into some, like I'm looking at Soul Dog City, and like I love the art style, and I'm like, it'd be cool to see little block stars walking down the street.
For
And
sure.
so finding great partners instead of trying to reinvent the wheel with them. is the challenge.
And that's the whole thing, is the metaverse is going to be huge. It's like the internet. Everybody's going to have their thing that they're doing, and there's going to be a bunch of different places you can do kind of the same thing, and a bunch of places where people are doing something that nobody's ever done before. So it's really cool to be able to branch out like that.
I want to avoid like an Apple versus Google problem. I think that's our big opportunity across the ecosystem. Is I'm a big Google person. I love Android. My mom has iPhone, so you can bet as the living tech support person for the family, I have to do both fluently, and each of them kind of crap on each other instead of just enabling all of us, the phone users, to just make a choice and then have all the features we want. And I think that's you're nailing it. Like that's the play, is enable each other, make sure that all these opportunities have the chance to work instead of deliberately working against each other and creating walls.
Most people don't remember it, but I know you will. I always make the comparison of AOL and MSN with their walled gardens and not being able to talk to half the people that I knew because they were on a different thing than I was on. It just doesn't
Oh, do my
make
phone bills remember?
Okay,
Welcome back, Haley.
thank you so much. These Vimeos are always a little bit tricky. I was going to tell the audience, just bear with us. It's a live event. If you think it's easy, go try it.
Yeah.
But sometimes there are some hiccups, but I'm glad that you guys can hear me now. So moving forward, my next question is for Soul Dogs. So your projects also is another one that did sell out. Which is a big deal. So sellouts are always really exciting. So congratulations. And it seems that you did touch on this a little bit for us, created your economy with the metaverse. You already did go a little bit into depth about it, but this is kind of your opportunity to touch on it just a tad bit more about.
Sure.
So you said that there's these play to earn games. So what do you see this economy, and what do you think this can help NFTs in general, or for other projects that are looking to do the same thing with your token and with these play to earn games?
Sure, yeah. I mean, this is a really good question. So, and I think it's worth clarifying, right? A lot of people ask us if we're building a game. We're not specifically building a game yet, right? What we're building is a Web3 browser-based interactive DeFi experience, and we're thinking this is more of a one way to onboard, the next million users into the blockchain, crypto, and specifically in Solana. We want to make an incredibly user-friendly, explorable experience that people can interact with others and then earn yield in engaging in gamified ways. And so we're really introducing what we're calling the first sort of open-ended digital city on Solana, with Soul Dogs as the digital avatars, Doghouse NFTs as digital land, and Bones, as we mentioned, that is the currency to fuel the economy. And by adding simple GameFi mechanics, right, we can make a really groovy and fun DeFi experience. So the primary gamification sort of element that underpins Soul Dog City experience is the job board, where you can stake your Soul Dogs to earn bones with different jobs, earning different multipliers and emissions per day, right? Like the more difficult the job, the higher the earnings. The second element is renting. You'll be able to actually rent out your doghouse, their Genesis land, and you can rent it out to earn bones. This is similar to staking. However, the emissions would be collected on like a weekly or a monthly basis, depending on the rental period. And then the piece that sort of ties everything together with the Bones token included is our Soul Dog City shop, which is the native marketplace where you can buy, sell Soul Dogs, dog houses, customization items like consumables. So imagine, we've already seen our communities, and I imagine everybody else who has, great communities, growing, vibrant communities, see people creating off the base of what you've introduced into the ecosystem, your art. And so we see a lot of folks in our community building and sort of creating new pieces of art that augment the Soul Dogs. And so we actually want to embrace that. And so we're going to introduce customization items that allow you to, say, change the background of your Soul Dog, or change some elements within your doghouse as well. And those will be consumable. You buy them with Bones tokens via our marketplace, and then once consumed, they would be expended, and those bones would actually be buried, quote unquote, right, and taken out of circulation, creating some deflationary mechanics on the token itself. And so that's really where we're at in terms of the next step. We're introducing this Web3 browser-based experience that you can explore. It's not like a first-person run-around type game yet, or experience yet. It's starting off with a third-person sort of God mode map view. We're going to populate it when you mint your doghouse. It'll probably take a bit of time, but we're going to populate it within a number of neighborhoods, probably 30 plus neighborhoods, each neighborhood being distinct with its own map and level. And then you'll get to know your neighbors, those around you, and be able to then, of course, interact with your doghouse. The next phase, and I think Hatunama mentioned, is this idea, and kind of where we all think this is going, right, towards the application layer of Web3, and just a general question of how we're going to all interact. And I think what we're really trying to create is a proof of concept foundation for what a metaverse can be, right? And then start to create interactivity integrations across other projects to create to embrace the metaverse of metaverses, right? We're sort of creating this new web, right? And we have all these, single points now that are not connected. You have to visit one, visit another, but eventually and down the line, that's where we see this going. I think the general consensus is that direction. So we're talking with projects like Portals and Viro, who we want to partner with and integrate into our metaverse as interior spaces for our homes. And so we don't necessarily have to build that experience, right? Somebody else is building it and they're doing a great job. So integration and partnerships are going to be a big focus for us moving forward. But I think that's really the summary of what you can expect from Soul Dog City in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And then beyond that, we'll be launching our DAO and really work with our community to outline what we want to do in the future.
Awesome. Thank you so much for explaining. I love your passion. But again, let's just try to keep things a little bit shorter so that everybody can talk. We're running low on time, but thank you so
Good. Yep.
much. I am going to ask you one more question. So this one's also for you. So this one, you kind of touched on this a little bit, but what we're dying to know is if these dog houses that you are planning to set up are going to be explorable, or let's say, can you invite another dog over to your dog house to play like a game of poker, like you can already do in Oculus? And if you haven't bought an Oculus, they're awesome. I really suggest it.
Yeah, I have an Oculus as well. No, the short answer is not in the initial phase where we launch. We're trying to create the sort of map and the world itself, and really focus on the social connectivity that comes with that, allowing for owners to connect with each other, create these communities first, right? And then the question would be, do people want to explore and go into these houses? Do people want to connect in certain ways? And that's where we want to listen to our community once we have this foundation in place, and also watch the market and talk to partners to figure out what's the best experience to continue to build. Because I think if you ask 10 people, they'll have sort of 10 different answers for what the metaverse is, right. And I think that's great. We want to embrace that ambiguity to some degree, and by building this foundation that allows us to be nimble and move and build in a way that we think will be great. So that's our plan moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate how detailed you are. Okay, so I'm going to give Filippo one more chance to kind of explain what he did. Let's see if we can hear him a little bit better right now. I'm actually going to start with one more question for him, and then hopefully he can backtrack a little bit and explain his other points. So my question now is, you have an amazing utility that will bridge Web3 and reality. That's what we're talking about, kind of that AR, but physically by making your pizza an NFT and delivering these projects in the real world. So how do you exactly plan on being able to do this? Or let's say, in other words, pull this off where they buy your NFT and you're able to give them these pizzas?
Okay, first of all, before minting, let me know, can you hear me good now? Or
first of all, yeah, you sound much better. Okay. I'm really excited because I've been dying to hear.
Okay, perfect. Okay, first of all, before minting, because we haven't mint yet, we don't even have a launching date. What we want to do now is delivering, preparing the designer of the pizzeria, partner with Metaverse project. We want to show to our community that we are legit, and we want to build something great. We want to build something we don't I don't know how to explain it really well, but what I want to show to the community is that we deliver. And by doing that, I want to show them what we do. Right now, we just finished the design of our first pizzeria restaurant, but I will soon publish the video of the first Metaverse pizzeria. And also what I'm going to do right now is talking with Metaverse project and ask them to collab and to integrate the pizza shop in their Metaverse. After that, I will work with them because maybe they don't like the design, maybe they want to change something. I want to work one-on-one with each Metaverse project, and then start the pizzeria, start selling pizza, start selling digital pizza, and opening a chain where my dream is what we are really working right now, but it's kind of secret, but I'm saying it right now, so it's not a real secret, is that we want to create like an integration where you can put like a VR and smell and like have the smell of the pizza on the like on the in the metaverse pizzeria, but you can smell the pizza. Like that's what we are really working right now. Yes.
So you're already past 3D. You're going straight to 4D ideas, right?
Yes, yes, yes. We are like we want to deliver. Like what I'm saying, like we want to deliver before like minting, and I want to see that we are legit and we are here to stay like for the long term. Like we want to after the meta. I'm gonna be as fast as I can because I know we're short of time. But after that, after the metaverse, we will expand in the real world, and we want to be the first decentralized pizzeria restaurant where our DAO can choose everything from the location, from the menu, and from like the people that work, the chef from our restaurant.
Molto
Love
bene.
that.
Say that right?
Yes, molto bene.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for explaining. And I'm glad that we can hear you so much better because this is such a crazy concept of being able to have NFTs and pizza merge. I love pizza, so obviously.
Yes, yes.
I
We
don't
all
know a lot
love
of people who don't
pizza.
like pizza.
Yes, I think we all love pizza. Yes.
So thank you so much. I'm going to move forward. I do have another question for Vishvi. So this is about your plans on the metaverse and that are vast and promising. Obviously, we see that you have a demo. You've gone very, very far into being able to make this experience great for your holders and have them give a little bit of a taste of what you're going for. What would you say are your biggest obstacles right now? And I think that you might actually have more than the average NFT person, just because you've really gone and set some stuff up that are bridging some gaps of what is possible and what's not yet possible. So, what would you say are your biggest kind of obstacles or setbacks or stuff that's kind of a little bit difficult to overcome for you in this advanced stage of your metaverse project?
For us personally, we're a really small team. We've only got about 15 people, including all the developers. So it's a lot harder to get everything done. So we try to avoid feature creep. We have art gallery the and the nightclub. Sorry, we have the art gallery and the nightclub, and we had a lot of big plans for that, but we don't have the hands to do all of that at once right now. So we're trying to narrow it down to doing just one thing at a time. Other than that is just general distraction. The space is magnificently huge. There's probably 7 million projects that came out in the past 4 or 5 months, and it's insane. It's hard to keep people in the Discord talking to you, focused on your project and active when there's so many other pretty lights and new whitelists and new things to get in. If you're not handing out free soul or NFTs all the time, it's hard to get people to just stay
Mhm.
there and stay focused.
Right. And I do think that that's one of those things that it might take a little bit of time just because when you do have these advanced projects, it might take a little while for kind of the hype to die down of some of these new shiny toys. And then all of a sudden they're sitting there and they're like, okay, well, where's the utility? And that's where you come in. And you're like, look what we've had. So I actually think that makes sense, that would be something a little bit hard. But congratulations on everything that you've accomplished. And I'm sure that it will get easier from here.
Thank you.
Okay, so one more question I've got for actually, again, for you, Vishvi, I'm going to ask you one more question. This is so you seem to have a limited number of domestic spots, but a lot of ships. So, how do you plan to house all of your members in your metaverse?
Not everybody's going to get a plot to live right now. There definitely are going to be less plots to live than there are going to be ships at the moment, but there will be more planets in the future. So eventually the space will expand and there'll be more space for people to be able to live. We're going to do a limited number of housing and then a limited number of commercial properties as well.
Awesome. Sometimes when I talk to you guys, you don't even seem like you're like working for NASA or something to the average. Thank you so much. So let's go back to block stars. This is one more question I have for you. And then I have one last question for Filippo, and then we'll move to just a few brief general questions. So for block stars, my question for you is, will you be able to go to concerts in your metaverse? And could our characters eventually go on to tour other metaverses or other concerts?
Wouldn't that be nice, right?
Mhm.
So like nowhere near anywhere close to our roadmap right now, but it's one of those. And I know we all talk like this, right? We're doing these projects like we're going to get out what we're doing. We know we're doing that. We're going to make sure that's great. If anyone doesn't know, like we're building incrementally, so it's going to be a lot of iterative releases and little updates to Blockstar. This slowly turns into this game. If you remember the Facebook era of all those games, like I was on the Farmville team. You started with a small game and it got bigger and bigger. It's like now sheeps are there. Now baby sheeps are there. Blockstars is going to be on that path where we know what we need to do to build the basic game, and then the sky's the limit. I would love, frankly, like South by Southwest is coming up, right? Wouldn't it be cool to have a Blockstars tent where token holders at Blockstars could come in and just kind of like it's the chill zone, so to speak, at a festival like that or Coachella or whatever. And there's a perk for being a member. There's a perk for being a holder. We're music, so why would we not want to be there? None of that's a development promise. None of it's currently possible or on our radar. But I love it as an idea, and I think like same things like virtual pizza. We all have these grand ideas. It's going to be on us to one methodical step at a time build these things. And I do think all the metaverses are going to bleed into the real world one way or the other. Like, even if it is like I have my Oculus, so even if I'm in your metaverse with my Oculus and my Blockstar token outfit, that like step by step, we will get there. So I'm excited for it. I also like for us, Dream Space is actually working with musical artists, not necessarily like we're not going to be a music NFT where you mint your song and sell it to your people, but what a partnership where someone's like, hey, I want a cool Blockstar style avatar of me as this famous person. Maybe there's a micro set around them or something like that. We're not talking about it. We don't have anyone on the list right now, but that's the kind of, I love it, Jazz, because it's like, why not aspire to that? Web3 is going to be the web standard sooner than people realize. So all of these opportunities shouldn't be limited in our imagination, just in our execution.
Right. Thank you so much. I hadn't thought about that. I think that's great. And then I did get a message. Sorry, what were you
I'm
saying?
going to comment on something Vish said, if I can shorten your name. The community and it's hard to get people to pay attention. Absolutely. That's like we just minted last week, so it's top of my mind. And really, nobody has answers till you try things. But my mindset is I'm going to take care of the people I've got. They're respected. It's not a DAO right now, but they're the community. They're holding it. They're owners. I'm not going to worry about attracting 50,000 more people until I have 50,000 more tokens.
Try to be present. That's all we're doing. Just be there for the people that are there.
And then I did get a message from my superiors. Maybe you guys could confirm this for me that Vishvi sent out an invite for Blockstars. Is that true?
Oh yeah, yeah. We would love to partner up. Absolutely.
Let's talk.
That's good. Okay, perfect. All right, now, Filippo, this is my last question for you. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your responses. And then we're going to move into a round of general questions, and then you guys will be able to kind of jump in or talk over each other. So for you, Filippo, my last question in our personal question round is that have you decided on the name of your first pizza chain? And will there be franchises or what locals will be able to order pizza directly to their home?
There is going to be a franchise, yes. And what I can say, but I like NFT Pizzeria like a name, and I think we're going to keep the NFT Pizzeria because we want to show also to the people that doesn't know NFT, that we come from the NFT world. So I think NFT Pizzeria is like the best name. So we 99% sure we're going to stick with NFT Pizzeria, because one of our goals is also to show that people that things like of NFT, like a digital image or like something that like you can copy and paste, we can show them that for like something that you can copy and paste, we build like a pizzeria restaurant, like we build a franchise of pizzeria and restaurant where like there is no owner, but there is like a group of people that decide like everything is clear, like all the papers, all our like everything that we spent is gonna be like registered. It's gonna be like a 100% decentralized. Like it's going to be the first franchise, decentralized franchise. Yes. And it's important to start from the metaverse and then to the real world, because first we want to show like that we are in the metaverse, and then after that, after like we are established in the metaverse, we will start to work in the real world.
There's a lot of real pizza. There's not a lot of metaverse pizza.
Yes, yes. That's why like we will try to do like we will work as hard as I can. Like my team, like they took like a night off today, and I will be like they wanted to be here, but like in this week we are working like crazy. We are working like one of our first like also like we wanted to do like we wanted to be like an organic community without like doing like paid promo and giveaway, and like this is like much harder for us, and like we working hard, we working like we try to get all our members like be part of the community, we try to talk with them, text with them, and like this takes a lot of time. Like we've been like in the space for 4 months. We want to do things well because we want to stay here for like years, like we want to be forever, like we want to stay forever. Yes, we know that NFT is going to change the world, and we want to be part of that. Like we also I will say the last things. I know that I like to talk a lot, and and then I will never stop to talk. So the last thing that I want to say, as I said before, is that like one of the most important things of NFT is like to bring people in the NFT world and in the metaverse world. So like I think that like with opening like the first pizzeria from NFTs will bring a lot of attention for like people around the world, like newspaper articles. But I think they're gonna talk about it. I think it's going to be like a completely new level, a new thing.
No, it's a
Okay, I'm
great
done now. I'm done now. Yes.
it's a really good headline. That's why we used it in Solanews. So
Yeah.
definitely marketable. I'm super excited. Maybe your first pepperoni pizza you can like spell with the pepperonis NFT or something. That'd be cool.
Yes, yes. I mean, we're working hard. Like I'm so excited to show the product. Like we have the design and everything ready. We just need to fix a few more things, the VR things, and then we are ready to launch our first Metaverse Pizzeria restaurant. Yes, and then
Thank you.
like right now, last week, and we try to collab with all Metaverse project. We want to talk with all of them. We want to be in all of them, and that's all. Yes, that's all for
Thank you so
now.
No, thank you so much. The
Thank.
only thing better than Metaverse Pizza is your enthusiasm and your energy. And I love all this. Let's just keep
I
doing
think if we all
Yes,
had a
we
symbol
are
full of that
Italian. We
energy, we
like
could
to
take
we
over the
like to
world.
talk. We like to move. Yes, yes.
I'm getting excited. Okay, perfect. So now you three that are already here, and then also Soul Dogs, we're going to come together, and then we're going to go on to these general questions. Again, please be mindful of each other's time. I know that everybody's really excited, but we do have about 12 minutes left and I've got 5 questions to go through. So let's just kind of share our space. And then if somebody has an important point or you want to kind of jump in and be brief, please do so. But then also, again, with the details, try to explain yourself, but also be as short. So, first general question is, with spaces so limited in the metaverses created today, what are your guys' plans on how you suppose you could expand on your own metaverse and the amount of space that you have?
More servers. The
That's
limit
good.
of space, really, there's not a limit of space. It's just a limit of ability at the moment. It's as big as we have the funding to be able to make it, and as much as we can work together and make it interoperable between each other. It's basically an endless space. It's not that limited. It's just very new. So at the moment, it's kind of limited, but we're getting there.
I
Right.
think if I piggyback, like that's like it's limited also in development capacity and making sure everything's going to work as you scale it. And it wasn't like a super conscious play on our part to make like, hey, we'll just make avatars and grow with the metaverse. That was an easy decision. It wasn't like, the team sat back for weeks and thought. And I think that's what I hear from a lot of people on projects is obviously their personal passion of what they're going to do right now in building their metaverse. But then it's always like, hey, we want to collaborate. We want to make room for other people to come in. We want to find people that are doing things that complement it. And that's pretty much our strategy. Make it easy for Blockstars to go places and then see what places we can go. We're more like fans of the metaverse than we are creators.
Good points. Anybody else, or do you want me to move on to the next question?
If I can say just one thing, I think that like collaborating, each metaverse project should collaborate with each other. I think this is really important. Instead of like doing wars, creating paths within each other, I think the most important thing for all the metaverse project is like to collab with each other.
100%.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right, so then let's move on to question number 2. And I have a few more to spit out at you before we go. Oh, one more thing I did forget to mention. If you are in the audience and you registered for a seat today to today's live event, we did keep our winner hidden for that free NFT. We're going to announce it on our Twitter as soon as this is over. That was just to be able to keep you guys here for the entire amount. But our Twitter, as soon as we're done here, we're going to be able to tag that winner for the chance to win the NFT that we're giving away today. So next question, I just wanted to put that out there real quick, is with projects like Solus and Enviro, if you guys have heard of these are kind of projects that are taking things to a higher, they're offering like gallery space, or they're offering an actual space in the metaverse where you can display things. So they're taking things to a higher level with more advanced graphics. Where do you see your project in relation to that? Because obviously when Solana's projects start to put out these kind of advanced graphics, it could be easy to see these people as competition, but how do you plan to kind of combat this and also have your project kind of keep generating new members and sustain the community that it has?
Well, from both of those projects, I'm still waiting for actual gameplay footage. I've only seen videos, and it's easy to give high-res videos and high-res pictures when it's not actually in the game and you're not playing on the WebGL. But it's just continuing advance, continuing to grow, continuing to do more, and working with everybody. I don't really see any of them as like competition. Like I said before, there's a million. How many search engines do you know of? And how many people use Yahoo over Google? I don't know, but a bunch of people do. A bunch of people still use it. So there's going to be space for everybody in the metaverse. There's going to be people who are specific on the things that they do, like Blockstars and Pizzeria. They're doing something specific. Everybody's going to be the best. There's going to be people that are the best at different things. There's going to be people that are copying that. And there's going to be other people that are just in the mix somewhere.
I fully agree. I think it's know who you are and do things that make sense for you and the community and the game and the product, metaverse, whatever. Like Blockstars has a very specific look. It's not going to fit in nicely with projects where they have an up-res, real 3D model, human, uncanny valley kind of ish content. And so it's knowing that and going, well, we've made the file available. It probably won't look great in that project. That might not be a collaboration we want to do, even if we celebrate what they're doing. And yeah, like having worked at game companies where you do the E3 circuit, and like I was even in gaming media, you knew half the time you were looking at something that they were making a game, they stopped, did a little branch, and went, "This is the E3 thing to show where we're going. It needs to look good to paint that picture. Then we'll go back home and figure out how to do it again." But I think like it's not competitive; it's just another thing, and it'd be like NFT pizzeria. Someone does NFT tacos, and they're like, "Oh no, now we got to do tacos." It's like, no, we're pizza, and maybe they collaborate and make pizza tacos, and now we have Taco Tuesday, Pizza Taco for Wednesday, and Pizza Friday, and it's like the world's a better place. But even if they don't, it's not a forced thing.
Right.
Crap. There's another Solana music project where it's pixel something. It's pixelated art, and you buy your musicians, and they each kind of have like what sounds to me when I listen to their demo or their video on their website was a MIDI file, and like you get the tokens and build a band, and they make a song, and you do all. That's not Blockstars. It's a different cool thing. It's not competition. It's just in the same interest space. So it's like I think there's a big umbrella, plenty of room to share.
I completely agree.
I think if
And
anything,
I want taco pizza.
If it's competition, it makes us
we
all.
have taco pizza. Like we are designing the taco pizza.
Sorry, we're tangenting.
if it's competition, it's competition in a sense that makes us all want to do better and improve ourselves more. Like if somebody else comes out with some way to make better graphics on the same WebGL, awesome. Let me figure out how to do the same thing, because we should now be up to that same graphic. Everybody's building on top of everybody else, and I think that's the whole point of blockchain. One of them.
And I think, I mean, that's as all the other folks mentioned. I mean, it's just not enough hours in the day or not enough hands on deck to actually go as fast as you want to go or build as deep as you want to build. That's definitely an obstacle, but that's the case in development, regardless of what you do. Whenever you're building, you want to build more. The other one was, I guess, the cold start problem, which was, how do you get off the ground and get going to build your community. And the way we approached that was leveraging the core of what Web3 and what crypto and blockchain can offer, which is ownership in a trustless way. So we launched our Mint Pass early on and put our whitelist on chain, and actually started to actually create an NFT and launch that into the ecosystem to start, and sort of bootstrapped our way with that to build a community and leverage that via free giveaways, earning that whitelist and Mint Pass via community support. But initially, getting over that hump of the first couple hundred, first couple thousand is pretty difficult, especially with all the noise and really vying for attention in this pure attention economy. But otherwise, it's been fantastic. We made a lot of partners. The last thing I'll say before I go would be, everyone on this call, it's amazing that we can all connect and have very similar sort of ideas and ideals around what this space can and should be. And, one thing that's amazing is, when you connect with anybody here, you just connect and start building and start working, which is amazing. So I love this space. I love what's to come, and we're really excited to just be a part of it and play our role wherever that lands it to be. So with that, yeah, if you guys haven't checked out Soul Dogs, definitely check us out. You can follow us on Twitter. It's at SoulDogsNFT, or hop in our Discord. We're super active there. We have weekly town halls on Monday. So if you're ever interested to learn more about the project, you can follow us on Twitter and jump into one of those town halls and hear more about what we're building.
Thanks for tuning. Thank you, and I'm glad you showed up. So I just asked the questions. You tell us everything that we want to know. So thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna ask Block Stars. I saw that your hand was up. So Craig, if were you waiting to say one more thing?
It's Pixel Bands was the project I couldn't remember by name when I was running, but
Oh,
it's a
good.
really cool thing.
Awesome, and I love your support. It's awesome that you did bring up a cool point, and that there's kind of like a stylistic aspect to this, that like, who can I merge well with? Do they have the same look as me? Is it, pixel art? Is it super hyper realistic art? And that's something that I didn't really kind of think about. So I think that that's awesome that there are other kind of music apps. There are other projects that look like yours too, and do similar stuff. So there's a lot of opportunity for you to keep your style and kind of keep what makes you unique, but also have room for a lot of collaboration, which is great. So thank you for sharing that, and for Pixel Bands, and then also for the shout out for someone else too. Okay, so I've got just a couple more questions, and then we will close up, because I know we're about 1 or 2 minutes away. But I want to give you guys one more chance to kind of speak. Or actually, let's just do one more question. I think this one's kind of important. So, in general, what are some projects that you guys think you would love to collaborate with? And then maybe you've already touched a little bit on this, but I'd like to know just a little bit more. If you had your dream collaboration, who would that project be, and why do you think it could add to your metaverse, or you guys could make something great from it? Whatever
Uh,
order.
for us, honestly, everyone. I've got a running list for everything from one of one artists to IRL artists that are going to do things in our art gallery. I've got different projects that are doing music things that we're going to do different things in the metaverse with them. We've got projects that have full houses where so people are going to be able to put their building on their plot if they own it. We're going to have hand-to-hand combat, so we're going to work with other projects that are making like little guns or different things like that. Really everyone.
That's allowed the privilege, right? So for me, it's then, all right, how do you choose? And it really is who's a great partner, on the team to team level where they're doing something cool that we can be a part of and get in there with them. And then, like the other sift is always, again, it kind of goes back to the focus level of effort. Right now we're building a game. So like if someone's like, hey, wouldn't it be cool to this came up in one of our own chats, bring your tokens into this other place where, like we said just a few minutes ago, the artwork's different and you could make block stars look like this other space. And it's like, there's 10,000 of them right now. And every time we do a release, the level of complexity gets higher and higher. So I think like we're going to talk. Absolutely. Like you got venues and we can do music stuff. That's fun. So we should explore it. But then it becomes which ones can we do? The ones that are the most practical that make sense and somehow give the community something new, fun, and interesting to play with that's more than just a 1 week flash in the pan.
Nothing to do except for gamble, I guess, because they have a casino. But that's one of the things we're trying to avoid is just adding a bunch of random crap that gives people nothing and giving them something to actually be able to play with, something they can actively use and do things to interact with in the metaverse. So you want to be there.
Right. The metaverse was created, right, for people that want something beyond the real world. So if you go into the metaverse and it's not as exciting as, let's say, your own Friday or Saturday night, which I can't believe that anything you guys are doing tonight is more exciting than talking to me. But but I'm just joking. But in general, like obviously if all you can do is do something in the metaverse, like go to the casino, and you're like, I actually like the casino that's 30 minutes away, I'd rather go there, then that defeats the purpose of this meta experience that's trying to be provided. So I love that you guys be more versatile and add kind of a lot of experiences, and then even with the 4D and the smelling of the pizza, which seems outrageous, but it's like, why would I need to go and leave my parking spot or drive or, spend gas money when I can sit here and I can smell my pizza for free? So that's
Yeah, it's an experience. It's an
right.
experience. Yes.
Awesome. I really
Yes.
love that
It's
idea.
it's something new. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Because it's really hard. Like when I explain to like also my real life friends what I'm going to do, what I'm trying to go to do, it's really hard to stick them in the head what we're going to do. But I think only by proving them what I'm doing, I can show them what I'm really doing.
No, it is awesome. I think that's what the metaverse, and like you guys said, there's a lot of, if you ask a bunch of people, they feel different ways. But I think that's kind of what it adds, that's the most marketable, or that can you sell it, is that, you can get these experiences that don't exist in the real world. So, and they're really exciting. So I think that the more versatility, the more partners that you guys have, the more that there's expanding going on, more opportunities for people to see things or experience things for first time, the better, and the more everything will come together.
If
Yes.
if I have to say only one thing, more than experience, we want like to do a gathering place. We want like to bring people together. Like we don't want to do like an experience. We want like to bring people together around the world. Let's say my friend is in France and my other friend is in India. Like we can all eat like a digital pizza together and like stay together, even if we are in the opposite part of the world. This is what I love of the metaverse. It's like the bringing people from all the parts of the world in one place.
Awesome. And we're already there because you're in Italy and I'm in the States,
Yes,
and we're
yes,
already
yes,
talking.
yes,
So at this point,
yes,
it's just going to get more immersive. We're not eating pizza
yes,
together
yes,
yet.
yes. We are not eating pizza, but we will
It's
soon. We will.
aspirations. Like, so my excitement about the metaverse and what you guys are all building that we'll hopefully be able to partner with in somewhere, I'll just go in and enjoy it myself, is I grew up with Neuromancer, Snow Crash, the leading cyberpunk books and like Snow Crash for me, still every time I think about what metaverse people are building, I'm like, sure, it's not going to be in it where you're in a virtual reality in your brain, but like you're making spaces that are valid spaces to have different kinds of experiences and interactions, and sky's the limit. And I think like it's an insanely exciting time to be alive, to be just lucky enough to actually be a part of this instead of the printing press. That was revolutionary and changed the world, but this is much more immediate for all of us that are here now, is that these projects you guys are making to make metaverse spaces can be any. I mean, like in COVID, the musicians were all trying to figure out how to do live concerts. Now we're going to have spaces they could go in and do it. People could have avatars, and it literally, that was 2 years ago, right? That they were trying to figure that out, and here we are solving it. So, as an enthusiast, not a professional, I'm super geeked on what everybody's doing in these spaces. And then professionally, it's like, yeah, how do I collaborate with that and get my stuff in there where it's awesome for everyone? Because you made a concert venue and the bands, you signed them up from the labels for the real world, and our Black Stars are in there being a part of it. That's cool. And if you have never read Snow Crash, you probably should. Like it's not the same, but it's very informative of how a lot of people, my age at least, visualize what we could be doing, especially with the Oculus.
All right, perfect. Okay, we are over on time, so I do need to wrap things up just to keep brief, keep some of our metaverse mystery going, have them wanting to come back next time for more. So thank you so much for joining me today, Filippo. Thank you so much. I know it's really, really late for you. So thank you especially for
It's
tuning
not
in
a
at this.
problem. I really love talking with all of you.
I love it. Thank you so much. We're so happy to have you. And I can tell that there's energy in the air. This is going to be an awesome new wave of utility coming our way soon. So thank you for joining us. I know it's hard to come on here on live and present yourselves and your projects. So you guys did an incredible job. I'm really excited for all of your projects and more things to come. And I can't wait to keep tuning in and reposting on Twitter and seeing what you guys have coming your way. So thank you so much from Solanews. Thank you for coming on here and explaining to our audience your awesome projects. I'm super excited for what you guys have coming your way, and I know that there's a lot of success that will be in all of your futures. So thank you so much.
Thanks for
I
having
will
us.
see you next
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.